All right. Welcome out there. Happy Wednesday to everyone. Let's go ahead, Megan, and get our ducks in a row here with our phones and all the things that we do. Guys, going live is one thing, but then making sure that you've got all your other phone going, the volume up or the volume down, and all the things, it could really be stressful. So I get it. If some of you get stressed to go live, it certainly can be. But gosh, we have a great show for you today. And I am so excited to be here. We used to do the Leader Lowdown every Wednesday. And honestly, I think it was a little too much because it takes preparation, planning, promoting, and boy, I've been learning a lot of lessons over the past couple years. And one of those is, understanding what works and what doesn't. And I just want to take a moment right now and welcome you to today's Leader Lowdown and introduce you to my special guest, Megan Miles. But before Megan goes, we want to go ahead and just have you drop in the comments where you are tuning in from. And I want to go ahead and pull up comments so I can see you making comments throughout this broadcast and show. And we have got a power-packed about 35 minutes for you around the 3 biggest recruiting mistakes. And of course, I'm sure there's many, many more, but these are the ones that Megan and I felt really hold people back from building a 6 and 7-figure business. So before I go any further, I'm going to introduce you to Megan Miles. Megan is a top industry leader. She has mastered the digital space of marketing, and I am so thrilled to be partnered with her. We've worked together for, over the past 8 years on multiple projects and building teams. And if anybody knows Megan, you know that she's got an amazing amount of energy, passion, and really truly knows how to build a business on social media. She's been doing this for multiple years, and I'm thrilled to have her on the show because today we're going to be talking a little bit about that as well. So Megan, take a moment and introduce yourself, and then we'll draw a card before we get into the 3 mistakes.
Awesome. Hey, what's up, everybody? Megan Mouse here, and I am a single mom in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, almost 11 years in the network marketing and direct selling space. And, we've gone from like side hustle to multi-million-dollar, organization in less than a year because of this woman, honestly, because of Joan. She is incredible. And so I'm honored and excited to be here. But along the way, I've learned a few tricks or two under her guidance to be able to, under her guidance and the time that I wasn't guided by her, I'm going to tell you a lot of the things I did wrong because I didn't have someone like Joan in my life. So we're going to dive into that today. So I'm super excited to be here. I see Maxine in the background. Joan's cat is here for the show.
She loves the Zooms. And the minute that I start talking with guests and people, well, now she's maybe, are you wanting to get the, she's getting down, but Maxine just is social. She loves the limelight, I guess. So, hey, we'll let her have it. Megan, tell us a little bit about your story and your journey from really where you started in network marketing to where you are today.
Yeah, gosh. Okay, so I'm going to try to do this without crying because it's been a little bit of an emotional day. Today, not just do we have a, successful have we been successful in network marketing, but also in growing a digital side to the network marketing space. And with that, sometimes comes some fires, and we're putting fires out today. But it puts things in perspective because, a few things just happened this morning because, I have basically like an entire company I'm running now, not just the leverage of network marketing. And things are happening, and it puts me in such a space of gratitude, because it's, I believe today's happening for a reason, to make me think of, but remember when. And so the God's honest truth is, I got involved at a pretty young age with network marketing. I was a manager for Starbucks. I like to say the professional Frappuccino maker. And the truth is, I saw a really cute guy. A cute guy came into my Starbucks, invited me to take a look at this deal. We sat down on a laptop, and he said to me, he said, you should meet my girlfriend. But when he said it, I thought he said, you should be my girlfriend. And I literally looked at him and was like, yeah, okay. And he was talking about travel and all the things. And I was like, take my money, had literally only the money in my bank account to buy a mattress, because I was sleeping on the floor, because I finally got promoted and I could get my own apartment. I was big shot at Starbucks. But no, seriously. So I ended up joining the industry, and because of a cute guy, honestly. And then fell in love. I got to an event and I fell in love with the lifestyle, the community, the people. I saw people, I'm very competitive. I'm a type A red personality. And when I saw this guy named Jimmy John, that was a truck driver at 55, rolling across stage with $1 million ring, I was like, if that guy can do it, you bet your socks I can do this. And so I ended up catching the vision and seeing my area manager at Starbucks working like 70-hour weeks. And I looked over, and he was driving a Toyota Corolla. Nothing against Toyotas. I love Toyotas and Hondas, don't get me wrong. But I thought, is that really like how stressed I want to be, to drive a Toyota Corolla and have no time with my family? And so I really made the decision that day. I remember it so distinctly. It was a few blocks from here. I told you I was going to cry. I knew it was going to happen. I remember that day looking out the window and seeing him after discussing another potential promotion. And that was the moment I made a decision. We know, it's in our moments of destiny, or decisions that our destiny is shaped, right? Tony Robbins says that. And I will never forget watching him walk out that parking lot, so stressed, had been telling me the stress he's going through, not having time with kids. I decided, I don't care what I have to do. When I have a kid, I am going to have the time with my kid. And so my son today is 6 years old. I have not had to go out and get a job. I've somehow made this entrepreneur life work. And even days today, like today, where there's crazy things happening, I realize how grateful I am for this business. And I just went on a long story, Joan. I didn't anticipate to go into that, but I feel like maybe somebody here needed that glimpse of hope, of just keep going.
Yeah.
Make that
Just keep
decision.
going. In fact, I wrote a post about that yesterday, because, I know that, gosh, I'm just going to say it, guys. I want to be real with you. We all changed the way we did business when COVID happened. We came out of COVID. Apparently that's no more. Anyway, okay, I'm not going to make any jokes. And then, the economy and things change moment by moment when it comes to digital marketing and whatnot. And there's a lot of balls that often we have to juggle. And what I would say is, for me, just in business, the last 2 years have challenged me, because I've been learning a lot of new things, and I've been learning a lot of new things from Megan as well. And, that's where I go back to the same place, Megan, as you is, it's really easy to focus sometimes on the things that aren't working. We're going to talk about that today. And it's also really easy to give up and quit. But the post I wrote yesterday really kind of speaks from my heart about, we all have challenges. Challenges are part of what strengthens us in life. And even though we don't love them and we don't want to go through them, I want to encourage you today and moving forward to choose a different way of looking at those. Instead of like, oh my gosh, I'm hearing all these no's, or, oh geez, this stinks, it's not working out. What about, okay, 3 questions. What is this teaching me? How can I use this to create more forward momentum in my business? And, who else can I share this with? Because I also find that in the challenges that we all go through, that the majority of those things are things that allow me to help other people out of theirs.
Yeah.
So every challenge that we go through has a gift and a silver lining, and that's just part of the way that as an entrepreneur and a network marketer that I believe when you get to that level of mentality, you're going to start really loving more of what you do. So Megan, I want to draw a flip the switch card. In fact, guys, these a flip the switch card, an ignite your light card. And these cards I wrote really because of that, because the majority of people that I coach with and work with, we spend too much time thinking of things that aren't working. We spend too much time in those fear-based places worrying about things that don't even happen. So these cards in less than 60 seconds can get you out of that funk. So let's see what we got today, and then let's dig into the training. All right.
And hey, Joan, you turn down your, I think you've got the Facebook Live up on the phone.
Is it? It's a little bit. Okay. Yeah. There we go. Sorry about that. I'm glad you remembered. Okay. Well, this is a really good one because we are going to be talking about recruiting. And one of the first things we're going to talk about, actually, it identifies it in the card. So stay with us. But here it is. I elevate my feelings with the way I think each day. I'm going to read that. I want you to take it in, maybe take a few breaths. Maybe this is the only time today that you have just to kind of tune in and focus in and hear the training. So take a deep breath in and listen. I know that I choose my every thought. To change and grow, my thoughts must be greater than my feelings. If I keep thinking the same thought over and over again, I'm going to get the same result. Today, I will choose thoughts that elevate my vibrational energy. Flip the switch from thoughts that do not serve me to thinking of thoughts that do, like, I feel good, I feel good, I feel good. How are my thoughts moving me forward in life? And that's card number 13. You guys can get these at joanrobinson.com. Megan, how's that speak to you?
I love it. I think that our thoughts are super important. They're powerful. They determine our life. Like even the Bible says that, they determine how we speak, the words we say. And the Bible even says, what we speak becomes reality, right? It's very powerful, the words that come out of our mouth, and words only come from the connection that they have to our thoughts.
Yeah. Yeah. And that is going to bring us right into our training. So guys, many of you know I've been doing tons of trainings around recruiting. And I think it's one of my favorite areas to train because it impacts people in the biggest ways. So I want you to think about it for a minute. Some of you might have this connotation that recruiting is something that we do to someone, when in actuality, if I shift my perception, recruiting is really something that I do for someone. So I'm offering them an opportunity to take a closer look at my business. And it doesn't matter what business you're in, you are there because you believe in that company, you believe in your products. And this is something that should excite you to think about people that, wow, I guess we got a hot rod out there. But anyway, hot rod, I sound like a child. Anyway, but what I want you to think about is, recruiting is something that you're doing for someone. I'm sorry, I just got a little off track there because of the screeching. So we're going to go right into the 3 biggest mistakes. And Megan, this will be I believe, real easy for you and I to talk about because we've been here, guys. We've probably heard more no's than the majority of you tuning in because we've been doing it for quite a long time. And the first mistake that people make, if you want to write this down, is they don't have their minds right. So you have to start with a mindset of serving versus needing recruits, right? Mm-hmm. We're here to build businesses. We're here to make money. Many of you do this for a living or you're doing it as a side hustle. That's all true. But I want to seek and find people that want my business. And that is my mindset of recruiting. Megan, why don't you speak a little bit on that mindset of recruiting?
Yeah. Well, one of the biggest mistakes that I made when I first started in the industry was I had that mentality that you just spoke of like, I'm going because I'm looking to do something to someone instead of for someone. So I can think of as early on as we had this program like get four, pay no more. So I was like, how quickly can I get four people, right? How quickly can I get four people to come on and sign up because I need it for my check, my rank advancement, rather than how many people can I help today? Right. And I know that a lot of us have heard this, right? But these are like the foundation tools that sometimes we lose sight of. And then we sit back and wonder, why am I not recruiting? Why am I not enrolling? Why am I not having success? Because we haven't like flipped the switch, right? Like back on to looking, having the true mindset of a successful leader, of a successful recruiter, and making sure that we are inviting people to out of service, right? Because I think you said this earlier, Joan, is you can't be in the place of need and the place of service at the same time.
Right. You can't. In fact, what is it? Need is a fear-based thought. It's a very low vibrational thought.
Mm-hmm.
And when I'm serving somebody, I'm helping them. I mean,
Yeah.
how good do you feel when you go out and you help someone find a problem to their solution? I
Yeah.
mean, how much bigger could all of your businesses be if you put that hat on?
Yeah.
Truly. And I get it. I mean, boy, I'm all about mindset, and I work on it myself all the time. Because quite honestly, in my younger days, my mindset was not good. I was careless with how I thought. I was careless about how I talked about something, and probably too long, but that's my whole point is
Yeah.
I find that it still is something that people really need to consider, because they really think about recruiting all wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think I didn't plan on touching on this, but we maybe can a little towards the end. But what has shifted for us primarily too in our organization is that we have truly created automated leads for our business. And so what this has done using more like advanced digital recruiting methods is it's allowed us to now come from that place of service because we're not chasing. People are literally coming to us saying, hey, I am looking for what you have. They're raising their hand, right? And this might be a new theory, or maybe some of you have heard of this kind of like, marketing method. But because we have those people coming to us, A, I've eliminated some of like the active prospecting, but B, now all I'm doing is getting to focus on income and impact. So when I'm speaking to somebody, I'm not figuring out, and we'll get into this towards the end a little bit, I know about pre-qualifying, but I'm not speaking them to say, hey, I'm on this call because I need you, and I need you for my next rank advancement or whatever. I'm on the phone because you raised your hand. Now let me, with control, determine whether this is a good fit and can I help you. It's a place of service, really seeking to understand where they're at. So I think that's super important, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, so guys, if you're taking notes, I want you to take a moment today and really figure out, what is your recruiting mindset? What is the mindset that you want to claim when you go to offer your business? Because I believe that if we can start with a service mindset, with a mindset like almost like a Clouseau, like you are seeking to find people that want what you have. You're seeking to find people that have a problem. They're in a rut. And right now it's all over. And the rut can be different for many people. It could be an income need, right? It could be they want community. It could be, many different things. But if we put that hat on and start there, I'm going to guarantee you're going to double and triple your results, because it feels better to be there. And I want to say this. This might be a little bit too wooey for some people, but whatever. It's just what I want to say. So get over it. But here's what I want to share. If you are thinking up here in gratitude and who am I going to help today? By the way, those are the most powerful words. Who can I help today? Right? If you think that way, guess what ends up happening? You begin finding people that want what you have, that need what you have. If you're down here with, I need a recruit, I got to recruit, oh my God, nobody likes my offer, whatever, what ends up happening is those are the kinds of folks that you get. I'm just saying, guys, that it all has to do with that, we attract who we are. So we attract how we think. All right, Megan, let's move on to number 2. Um, I think that you and I have helped many people where you have a discernment, and I'd like to think you and I are similar like this, but I love this about you. You can get on the phone with somebody, one of your clients, one of your team members, or Zoom, or even in a chat, and immediately you will ask 3 or 4 questions, and oh geez, here's a problem. One of the things you and I talked about before we even went live was the fact that people just pop the question. Like they're in a cold market, they're popping the question. And guys, this is a big, big mistake because you only have one first impression, right? And you're not building a relationship. You're definitely not connecting, right? You're just going like straight to people use this example, like, you're going straight to the bedroom before you even went on the date or whatever, right? So Megan, talk a little bit to that about the premature
Yeah.
question popping.
So, yeah, I want to touch briefly on this. And then also, I just thought of a few things for the next one too that I kind of want to hit a little bit on closing. So I want that to kind of be the meat of where we stay. So I'll touch on this kind of briefly. But, if we're not in relationship with people, right? Like we're failing. Number one, we have to be in relationships. Even if you've like automated your kind of lead generation, people buy when they know, like, and trust you. You guys know this, right? Your leaders, you get it. But you have to be in rapport and have that rapport and be in relationship. And too often, people are popping the question too quickly, or they're popping the question when they don't need to. There's also a series of things that you can ask people to get them to pop the question with you, right? And again, this is creating the interest, piquing their curiosity enough to pop the question with you. And then, like we rush the process. I'm going to talk about this in a few minutes about rushing the process during the close or like the enrollment, however you want to call it. But here's the thing is we feel like, oh, because they reached out to us or liked our story, we can now go out and be like, hey, by the way. And look, I'm a huge proponent to having virtual assistants, right? We've used them for several years now, but I am not one who, and you know what, if you do this, like, awesome. It's a numbers game. And if it works for you, great. I am not one who uses a VA to like send messages to everybody who likes my story, right? I would rather have authentic conversations with a small group of people and take them through this kind of automated pre-qualification series process so that I'm only spending my energy with the right people who I can now enter a relationship with, because I know I'm not looking for everybody. I'm only looking for that kind of business partner that aligns with me, that aligns with Megan, right? And so often we think we're looking for everybody. And I put out this outward deal, like I'm a Bible thumper, right? I read scripture. I am going to go and shoot some guns. Some of you here, might be like, that ain't me. And that's okay, right? But what I don't want is to bring someone into my organization or into my tribe necessarily, and then have them on the inside be like, oh gosh, this is not a good partner for me, and vice versa, right? So it's really a dating process, and you're building the relationship and authentically getting to know somebody who somebody is, right? And so if you don't seek to understand their situation and where they're at, you're probably not going to be able to offer the right solution, right? They're not going to probably join you because you have to seek to understand where they're at, because every situation is different, right? Every situation is different. And in this business, we get so laser focused on like me, here's what I'm doing, simple path, get into kind of this robotic mode instead of truly getting to know someone and being of service. And like Joan is like the biggest server I know. So there's a biggest woman of service I know, right?
Oh.
She is somebody that will go out and help somebody no matter what, right? No matter what. She is constantly adding value to the marketplace. She doesn't focus on who's going to do this or who's going to do that. How is it going to benefit me, right? She's focused on how many people can I serve today? And because of that intention, right? She then builds authentic relationships that then other people can now, realize that in her and get additional support from her or whatever that looks like. And so it's building the relationship. I actually wrote like a whole chapter in a book recently about it. Everything stems from the relationship, and you have to build relationships with them, and you have to continue to nurture as well. It's not always going to happen right away.
Well, and I think too, one thing I want to say about that is often, because we are also going to be talking within this, our number 3 mistake, and then let's go into some closing. We're going to give you guys even a little bit more, but the number 3 mistake would be
telling them the surprise at the end of this.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so stay tuned because we have some. I wasn't sure if it was too soon to speak or not.
No,
but when you stay till the end, you're actually going to learn how you can get some recruiting coaching for free from the business.
Is that? Oh, okay. Right. Okay, so the number 3 mistake, guys, is really talking to the wrong people. Now, I'm going to just, again, I want to be really right up front with you because I do take a lot of time, talk to a lot of people. And what I've learned over the years is I can't give everybody the equal same amount of time. I do care about people. I love people. I love chatting, talking. I love listening, hearing stories. I love all of it. But what truthfully we have to remember is we are in business also, right? So when we're in business and you only have an allotted time, I have had to learn that not everybody's going to get the same amount of time. And how do I do that? By asking questions. So how do we go from talking to the wrong people for maybe too long and being frustrated? Has anybody ever been there? Why don't you drop in a heart in the comments if you've ever felt that way? Have you ever felt frustrated because you feel like you're the one beating your head against the wall? You feel like I've spent all this time with this gal or guy, and now I feel like they're wasting my time. Yeah. I mean, that happens. But here's what I want you to know. One of the things when you are recruiting, if you become a very skilled recruiter, is you begin asking questions immediately to uncover where that person is. And this is what Megan's talking about when it comes to pre-qualifying people. So I think that often we don't know who those people are, but if we can get really laser focused with understanding that social media to me that's me. I'm putting a post out there. I'm doing a reel. I'm doing a live. I'm doing StreamYard. That's me talking to you. But then you're talking back to me with your comments, likes, hearts, loves. So I have to be really diligent about then talking back to the people that are talking to me, but I've got to figure out quickly, are you somebody that is really truly interested in my post, or are you just being nice? And once I can figure that out, then that really guides me on where to spend my time. Because there is nothing worse than in my beginning years, I spent all kinds of time working with the wrong people. I believed in them more than they believed in themselves. I found myself, listening to their stories about their breakups and who knows what. And then I'm like, wow, they aren't even doing a business. And all of a sudden I realized, who's the one who's wasting her time or not using her time wisely. It's me. So Megan, talk a little bit about that and some of the different things or tips that you can give the group about, really not spending so much time talking to the wrong people.
Yeah, that's a good question. So drop in the chat. I'd love to know, like, how are you currently recruiting? Is it like ATMing? I'd love to hear from everyone. Just, is it ATMing? Is it, opportunity Zooms? Is it, hotel rooms, parties, virtual parties? Like, what's your number one recruiting method? Like that
Mhm.
you're kind of taking people through a process. And I'll just kind of dive in, but I would love to know in the comments. Um, so there's a series of like questions that you can ask people, like, your time is valuable. Remember that, of course, right? And so, but on the other side, your time is also valuable enough that it's worth getting on the phone with the right people, right?
Mhm.
So, like, I'm not saying never get on the phone with somebody, and I'm also not saying be on the phone all day with people. But Joe says, what's the ATM? That's a great question. So ATMing is like a 3-step system, adding, tagging, messaging. Um, it's basically adding them to like a big group. It's just kind of a social media system. If you want to message me after, I can find some resources for you. But with that, if you're doing the ATMing method, you want to ask them a series of questions in there before you're inviting them to a phone call. And when you want to ask them something quickly like, hey, when can you chat for 5 or 10 minutes? But for instance, like, I have somebody who reached out to me who was like, oh my gosh, I've been following you, blah, blah, blah. I saw these reels. I really resonated. And I say blah, blah, blah. The point of the story is I asked her a couple of questions. I asked, like, what are you looking for? How much income are you looking to generate? How many hours a week do you have to put into something? Those 3 questions right there are going to tell me, are they telling me I want to make 100 grand a month and I only have 5 hours a week? Because if so,
Yeah.
no. But honestly, the people who end up going further are the people who are like, well, I just want to make like an extra 1,000 a month. And I can make like an extra 20, 30 hours a week, whatever, because they kind of lowball sometimes a little bit. So what that means is, like, what I don't want is, I don't want someone coming in thinking they're going to get the sky and the moon with like a penny, right?
Mhm.
And so that's a good question for me to figure out where someone at. And then I will also ask, like, why now? Why is it important that you make a shift, like, now versus next week, a month, a year? That will also tell me what's their urgency,
Yeah.
right? So, like, okay, is it now? Because if there's not a burning fire, um, I may not get on the phone with them and spend 30 minutes with them.
Mhm.
Um,
Right.
and then on the like flip side of being on the phone with someone, before you invest a ton of time, gosh, I wish I had this like all written down. I mean, I do, but not in like one place. I have them in like different spots. But, when you're on the phone with someone, okay, if you're taking notes, which you should be, I want you to write this down. I want you to write this down because this is going to help you get really clear and help eliminate some excuses for people when you're on the phone with them and they're like, I need to think about it. I'm going to give you 3 things. So the first is something you can ask them at the beginning of a phone call. And that is, hey, Sarah, so I'm excited to show you how you can generate blah, 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 whatever they said. Recapping things to people is huge. When you recap what they told you, they feel heard. People buy when they feel the trust. That's how you can build huge rapport, by the way. So, hey, Sarah, I'm looking forward to connecting and sharing a little bit about how, we might be able to partner, help you earn that 3K a month. Just curious, if I can show you how you can actually do that and, create the results you want, like, would you even be in a position to get started today?
Mhm.
That's going to open up, before you even dive into your presentation, stuffs about finances, stuff about anything that you need to know that might be an obstacle on the back end, so you can cover those things. Or you can find out, I have nothing. Now, sometimes people will say that and they just haven't seen the value, but that will help you determine to tackle things as you're speaking to them, to know, how am I going to bring this in on the back end, right? So that's
Mhm.
the first thing. I know Joan's like, oh my gosh, wait, I'm giving too much, but I'm going to keep going because I have to finish up these thoughts and then we can tackle things. Okay. On the back end, I'm going to pull up. I do have a couple things noticed down. So I can't wait. Okay. I am going to tell you guys how you want to learn more of how to overcome obstacles, how we can do that together in a minute. But when people say, can I have more time? Can I have a day to think about it? I want to do it for sure. I'm going to do it. I want to do it, but I'm not going to do it till January. Like someone told me that yesterday. I was like, January? Are you crazy? Do you know how much money you can make between now and January? Like seriously. I mean, like that is crazy. Like I am like, that is the craziest thing, the stupidest thing ever. I say that very lightly, meaning they don't think it's stupid. I'm not calling them stupid, but they just haven't seen the value yet. People often don't buy because they don't have clarity or confidence, or they don't see the value. So what that means is either they're unclear about what they'll be doing, they're not confident they can do it, or they don't see the value in the price. Okay. So here's a couple questions you can ask if you do get some obstacles. Okay. Let's say someone says, I know I want to do this, but it's just timing. And they might say, do I have to decide right now? You can say something like, well, no, you don't have to, but Sarah, is there something that's still unclear that I can do to help you with your decision? Yeah. Well, Sarah, is there something that's still unclear that I can do to help you with your decision? This is going to break like a barrier for them and allow them to feel like I can open up. Okay. Well, I'm still unclear about how this, and this works. Okay. The other question is, Sarah, what else do you need to know before we move forward? So again, most often people don't buy because they don't actually have the money or the time or any of those things. They just don't have the clarity and confidence and see the value. So when you ask these quote on probing questions, you can now address exactly what their obstacle is and find out and then isolate it and address it. Okay, Joan, I know I just threw like so much out there.
Well, it's good, but we're going to move on because the closing, these are great questions. And I would encourage all of you to begin practicing using those closing questions. I want to get just to a couple more things though.
Yeah.
So I think the number one, and it isn't in my 3, it kind of is. I mean, it's written in my notes here, but the number one reason why people don't recruit is that they're not offering it. They're not letting people know that there's an opportunity. That is the number one reason. And what I have found is when I started recruiting, I did it all wrong. I mean, I did actually recruit quite a few people on sheer excitement and passion. That is why when you have a new person joining, you want them immediately to be thinking about who else do they know like them that might want a little extra money or that might want free trip or whatever those things are that you would be promoting from your company. And excitement is so contagious that you don't have to do all the words and the scripts, and you just don't have to do it right. And that's why people that are brand new tend to recruit often more than seasoned people. Okay, the other thing about offering your opportunity or popping the question is, I feel that people lack that confidence. And it's okay to be honest and say to people, hey, I'm fairly new at this, but I'm really excited about the potential. I've seen so-and-so, whoever your upline is or whatever, do extremely well. And I'm really confident that they're going to be partnering with us to help us. Use other people's talent and skill. You don't have to be the one that knows it all to help somebody out of a rut. So if I can leave you with that thing, to me, that's huge. And I even know for myself, when I'm not offering the opportunity, I'm not recruiting. It doesn't just happen. So make sure that people know what you have to offer and find a way to say it in a confident way. But guess what, Megan? I think now we're already getting at 40 minutes. And what I want to do is we've got something really exciting, guys, to share with you, Megan and I. So I'm going to really turn it back over to Megan. Megan, what is it with the drum roll that we have to announce out?
Yeah. Well, first off, I want to say this was great. I hope you guys got value out of this. There are so many other things that, oh my gosh, I could continue to share, like some juicy details also that I'll kind of save for another time, but around everything. So many of the things that I did.
Wait, Megan, we're going to be back next Wednesday as well.
Oh,
so
yeah, that's right.
So we're going to be saving some of those juicy things for next Wednesday because we're going to continue carrying on training around recruiting.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So yeah, I'm going to show you guys how I kind of mistakenly, and some mistakes that I made, some juicy details for sure, especially around, around COVID timing. So,
all right.
COVID. So, okay. So we're excited because Joan and I are going to put on, we've been hearing all this stuff about, I feel like, are we going into a recession? Like people don't want to buy, they don't want to join, and the truth is you can absolutely build a thriving team or duplicate your team right now in this so-called recession period, right? And so we are actually going to be coming live with 5 days of free coaching, you guys, in the Ultimate Recruiting Boot Camp. Woo-hoo! She goes, so we're super excited for this because we have poured literally our blood, sweat, and tears over the past few months. For those of you that have taken part of my challenges, yay! We have a challenge we've done called the 1 Hour Workday Challenge. And from that, look at that. Ooh, look at that work.
Ooh, fancy.
Very fancy. From that challenge, I really asked people, I was like, what do you need? What else do you need? And so they were like, we need more help with recruiting. So we're going to focus on how to actually attract team members from social media without making lists of hundreds of people, sending the constant cold DMs, how to attract people to you so you can start to pre-qualify and enroll people into your business. So I want you to go to www.ultimaterecruitingbootcamp.com. As a matter of fact, can we get that link down in the chat box by chance as well so people can click on it? Yep. Register, but hurry because we have a limited amount of seats for like the Zoom. And then we also have a VIP lounge, which I'm pretty excited about. So the recruiting bootcamp is absolutely free for now. For now, meaning like it is not going to be for long. So you want to take part of it now because it's going to be incredible. We're going to give you 5 free days of social media tips, building your recruiting school.
Actually, Megs, here, how about if I tell them exactly the titles? Because like Megan said, I want to just go back just for a minute, guys. So we decided to really combine our like superpowers, our secret sauces, because we both have similar styles in a lot of ways, but Megan has definitely more gifting around digital marketing than me. And, I have some other different things that she relies on too. And so together we decided to combine forces. And like Megan just mentioned, her people want, from her frazzled to free, they want these things. Well, I've also been working with several different companies and different leaders on recruiting. And what a lot of people want more of is social media. So I want to give you the day one, just so you get a little taste of what we're going to be doing. So day one is social media blueprint to building a 7-figure business. Day 2 is expanding your social media reach to attract high quality business partners. Day 3 is holding effective recruiting conversations that convert to more enrollments. We're going to be doing insider secrets to massive duplication, onboarding, and retention. And of course, we're going to talk about overcoming objections and really, truly crushing the close. And I had to hold Megan back. She's like a racehorse because I'm like, don't be giving them all the goods. Hey, not all the goods, lady. But guys, like Megan said, get registered. Megan, what else do you have to say?
I was just about to say one more thing that I forget.
Well, I'll say one more thing while you're thinking of those things. So guys, if you want to enroll more builders, if you want to increase your profits. And if you want to duplicate your results, this is the boot camp for you. And it's coming at the perfect time. You know, we're going to be right in the throes of holiday sales. And what better time than to get to know people just a little bit more? You know, Thanksgiving, all the things are now. And Megan and I, like she said, we've been working behind the scenes to get this really good, and we're super excited about it. We're super excited to serve all of you.
Yeah.
What else out there, lady?
I'm just gonna say is get registered, because day one we're coming in hot. We just shifted some things. I was like, Joan, they need this and this, and I'm gonna give you guys a post in that training that literally will 10x your engagement, guaranteed. It's worked for hundreds, if not over 1,000 people I've given that post to. It blows up their engagement. People are like, what? They can't believe it. I mean, I'm talking, if you've never had more than 3 comments, you've got 50, 60 comments. If you usually have like 18 comments, you're getting like, we have people who get like 300, 400 comments. It's crazy.
So and Megan, don't we have, guys, all of you that want to learn how to write an effective post, a business post, we have so many examples for you to take and make it your own. So really excited with the words that work and all these kinds of things.
Yeah. So I want to shout out a couple of people. I want to welcome Ashley to the boot camp. And she's in the VIP lounge. Pretty excited about that. I see a couple of you joining. So go ahead and go to the link, join, and then come back and let us know in the comments. I have a couple of people. I know we're hopping off in just a second, but I want to shout out these people.
Yeah, let's shout out our registrants so far. We just opened it like minutes ago.
Okay, so Joe Peck, what's up, buddy? I'm excited to rock and roll with you. What's up? So excited. Let us know also, what are you hoping to receive? Where are you struggling? Like, what tools do you need the most help with? Marianne Struble, welcome. Jen LaCour, welcome. Tisha Marie, what's up, girl? Shelly Pierce, Katie Allen, Tina Benson, Karen Slaymaker, Michelle Berry, Lisa Hawker, Sabrina DeLuz. Super excited. That's just the beginning list from the last minute.
Jeez, we got lots so far. Woo woo.
So we're excited. So don't miss out. And by the way, like I said, we have our VIP lounge. So for those of you who are action takers and you're like, I want more than just the 5 days, I want some implementation lab. Once you register, you'll see kind of a next page how you can kind of upgrade to VIP and get some extra Zoom time with us so we can get your one-on-one questions answered.
I love that. You know, I like to call it, that's like our red rope VIP, right? So yeah, Megan and I will be live after the calls in that VIP lounge and ready to really partner and work with you. And for those of you that are struggling, we're going to help you.
What's up, Joe? I see you, VIP. Okay. I see you, Joe. I see you, Joe. Yes. All right. Sorry, had to shout that out. I like it, Joe. Joe and Ashley in the VIP. Who else?
All right.
Sorry.
Awesome. Okay, guys. So listen, like Megan said, we hope that today you took away, some tangible things that you can look at your own business and go, gosh, either I'm not doing that, which is a good thing, right? And I want to learn more because I heard some titles that really stood out that I know would, skyrocket my business. Or you heard a few things that you're like, oh, that's why, maybe I am rushing to the close or to pop the question. Maybe it is that my mindset is always in fear before I pick up the phone or before I, make a post. Maybe I'm not talking at all on social media because I need more confidence. And that's why you want to join. The other thing that I want you to think about is truly, truly, how much time are you spending trying to get someone either on your team or that joined your team that is showing you no action? Because those are huge time suckers and they will suck the life right out of you. And the last thing I want to say is that I'm incredibly blessed to be part of all these different communities, part of the network marketing channel. And it's been so many years for me, over 23 years in this industry, and things change. So we have to change. And I myself am really just wanting you to know that I struggle too, but I'm not giving up, and I'm certainly not going to be giving up on you. So I hope to see you all very soon. And like Megan said, mark your calendars for next Wednesday. We're going to be giving some more training around this, but get into the Ultimate Recruiting Bootcamp.com. The link is in the comments, and we're going to be answering all day long all of your questions and whatnot as we come back. Megan, any closing remarks?
No, I hope today was fun. Thanks for having me. It was so great to see all of you here.
Yes, yes. So thank you to all of you, and we will see you next week. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.